Yes, indeed, guys. Welcome back to the channel. It's Jay Jordan here, and in today's video, we're gonna continue the series of the season recap for the New York Liberty in 2023. Last video, we did the off season, all the acquisitions we made, the roster moves. I'm gonna put that video in the description or above me here somewhere if you haven't seen it yet. But this one is gonna focus on the regular season. I know I did say it was gonna be a two-part series, but after gathering all the information and covering everything I wanted to touch on, it's better if I split it into off-season, regular season, and playoffs. So make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit those noti bells so you get notified when part 3 comes out. Salute! The New York Liberty season opened on May 19th on the road against a veteran Washington Mystics team. Not only was this the season opener, but it also was a Commissioner's Cup game. The first basket of the new Liberty era was scored on a Jonquel Jones 3 from the top of the key. That could be a trivia question one of these days. For the first 4 minutes, we got a glimpse of what this team could become. The ball was moving around and players were cutting and hitting shots. The Liberty's biggest lead was 5 points during this time, but after that, the Mystics turned up their defense and took the lead and never looked back, winning the game with a final score of 80-64. Breanna Stewart got her first double-double as a member of the Liberty, finishing with 12 points and 12 rebounds. There was no time to sulk, however, as the home opener against the Indiana Fever and number 1 pick Aaliyah Boston was just 2 days later. I was in the building for that Commissioner's Cup game as the Liberty smoked the Fever with a 90-73 score, behind a franchise and career-high 45 points from Breanna Stewart. She scored 29 points in the first half, one short of the W record, while adding a career-high in threes made with 6. The Liberty as a team also set a franchise record for scoring in the first quarter with 36 points. That game just showed just a tiny glimpse of how dangerous this team could be once everybody was clicking and on the same page. The Liberty won the remaining 2 games in the month of May, with JJ playing against her former Sun team and Breanna Stewart playing against her former Storm team in Seattle. During that span, Vandersloot got her first double-double as a member of the Liberty, and Breanna Stewart continued to break team records, finishing off that stretch with an Eastern Conference Player of the Week award and an Eastern Conference Player of the Month award. The Liberty finished the month with a 3-1 overall record, going 2-1 in Commissioner's Cup play. June started off with home-and-home Commissioner's Cup matchups against Vandersloot's former Sky team. The team won the first game on the road 77-76, thanks to a Breanna Stewart bank shot with 7 seconds left in the game. The following game 2 days later at home was the opposite, as the Sky beat the Liberty 86-82, outscoring them 56-35 in the second half. The team struggled from 3 in that game, shooting an abysmal 6 for 25. That ended the team's 4-game winning streak, but after a surprise 4-day break due to the postponed game against the Lynx, the Liberty took a trip down to Atlanta to face the Dream, another Commissioner's Cup matchup. Sabrina Ionescu, after struggling the past few games, came out firing, scoring a career-high 37 points and a franchise-high 8 threes. The team as a whole shot much better, leading to a 106-83 beatdown. The following matchup, the Liberty eclipsed 100 points in back-to-back games for the first time in franchise history, with a 102-94 win over the Dallas Wings at home. Stewie, who scored 32 points in that game, earned her second Eastern Conference Player of the Week award, averaging 28.5 points, 9 rebounds on 60% three-point shooting. With Sabrina down with a minor injury, the Liberty started Maureen Johannes. In those 2 games, the Liberty lost to the Dream on the road 86-79, but beat the Mercury a few days later 89-71. With Sabrina back in the lineup, the Liberty scored the second most points in franchise history in a 110-80 beatdown against the Dream. 6 players scored in double digits for the team, with Benijah Laney leading with 19. One of the early games of the season was an OT thriller against the Mystics. The Liberty clawed back to force the game to overtime on a Vandersloot layup, but after falling behind in OT and continuing to fight back, they sealed the game on a defensive stop, winning 89-88. Sabrina led the way with 31 points. The following game against the Sun on the road, the Liberty won 89-81, and during that game, Breanna Stewart became the fastest player to reach 4,000 points in W history. The last game in June was a highly anticipated matchup between the champion Aces and the Liberty on the road. In a battle between the two All-Star captains, Asia Wilson and Breanna Stewart, the Liberty never led in the game, losing by a final score of 98-81. The team went 7-3 in June, making their 10-4 record overall and 6-3 in Commissioner's Cup. To start off July, Sabrina Ionescu and Courtney Vandersloot were selected to the 2023 All-Star Game in Vegas. The two would represent the Team Liberty in the All-Star Skills Challenge, and Sabrina would be participating in the three-point competition. The Liberty would end their road trip with another trip to Seattle to take on the Storm, a game in which they led wire to wire for a final score of 81-66. 3 nights later, Breanna Stewart made Liberty history again, scoring 43 points against the Mercury in a 99-91 win. In just a month with the team, she had broken the Liberty franchise record for most 40-point games. She also became the first player in 5 seasons to score multiple 40-point games in a season. She also led the way in the following game against the Storm, scoring a game-high 25 points in an 80-76 win at home. Going into the final game before the All-Star break, the Liberty were tied with the Connecticut Sun in the Commissioner's Cup standings, needing a win to clinch the number 1 seed in the East and a chance to play in the Commissioner's Cup final. Behind 34 points from Sabrina Ionescu, the Liberty won that game 95-87, matching their franchise best start from 1997 with a 14-4 record. During the All-Star break, Breanna Stewart was awarded her 3rd Eastern Conference Player of the Week honor, averaging 28 points, 10 rebounds with 4 assists over that span. The highlight of All-Star Weekend, however, was Sabrina Ionescu hitting 25 of 27 shots on her way to scoring 37 points in the final round of the three-point competition, breaking the WNBA and NBA record. It was incredible to watch, and everybody was excited. It even sparked the Sabrina vs. Steph three-point competition that took place during the NBA's 2024 All-Star Weekend. After the All-Star break, the Liberty went 5-2 the rest of the month, continuing to break WNBA and franchise records along the way. In a game against the Fever, they scored 44 points in the first quarter, making it the single highest scoring quarter in W history. Jay started to get more comfortable in the offense, earning an Eastern Conference Player of the Week honor, and Breanna Stewart earned another Eastern Conference Player of the Month honor for July, leading the Liberty to a 9-2 record while averaging 24.5 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists while breaking records along the way. As the Liberty marched on towards the end of the season, they earned tough wins against the Sparks, Lynx, and blew out the Aces at home to start off August. With a 22-6 record, they clinched the 2023 playoff spot with 12 games to go. In the August 13th, 100-89 win against the Fever, Breanna Stewart scored 42 points, setting the new record for 40-point games in a single season. The win also set a new franchise record for most wins in a single season with 24, most consecutive wins on the road with 7, and the 5th 100-point game in franchise history. From there, the Liberty had to go to Vegas to play in the Commissioner's Cup final. Behind 17 points from Marine Johannes off the bench and a monster double-double from Jay, the Liberty won their first trophy in franchise history with a final score of 82-63. Jay was named Commissioner's Cup MVP. However, 2 days later, the Aces got their revenge, beating the Liberty 88-75 in a regular season matchup. The Liberty immediately got back to their winning ways, beating the Mercury by 20, coming back down from 20 to beat the Sun, and beating the Lynx by 35, all on the road. They even beat the Aces again at home to close out the month of August with a 28-7 record. With 5 games remaining before the playoffs, the Liberty continued their winning ways. They had back-to-back dominant games against the Sun and Sky, winning the season series against both teams. Breanna Stewart was in her bag again, scoring 40 points against the Wings on the road. During this streak, the Liberty signed both Benijah Laney and Kayla Thornton to multi-year extensions through the 2025 season, locking in that core, at least some of it, for the next few years, piece by piece. The last 2 games of the regular season were super exciting as Steph Dolson had a breakout 3-point game, going 5 for 5, and scoring 17 points in a win against the Sparks at home, sweeping the season series 3-0. On the last day of the season, with playoff positioning still at stake, the Washington Mystics shocked the Liberty when Brittany Sykes hit an incredible buzzer beater to hand the Liberty the loss, 90-88. The team finished as the second overall seed with a record of 32-8. That result from that game sealed a 2-seed versus 7-seed matchup between the two teams in the first round of the playoffs, which would take place a few days later. Well, that's the end of the regular season recap for the 2023 New York Liberty season. We broke a lot of WNBA and franchise records. We won our first trophy in franchise history. The players that we have were all starting to gel and scoring a lot of points, and it was leading to positive things before we got to the playoffs. In part 3, which will cover the playoffs, we'll focus on every matchup, the highs and the lows, and the conclusion to the season with all the awards that were won by the team. So, if you want to catch video 3, part 3, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that noti bell so you get notified when part 3 gets posted, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Salute!